I need that. Is that thing solid gold? Generic Control and the Deck Greensboro here, back with another Scott the Wild's video, and today we're doing limited edition consoles, which I don't think I've seen any of the ones that are in the thumbnail. Now, this comment was, I think, the most liked comment on the last video, which was console redesigns, which, like I said, I have not seen any of these consoles that are on the screen right now. Some of them look really, really cool, like an orange N64, like, what? But if you want to check out my reaction to the console redesigns video, I'll leave it right up there. Also, link down below in the description. Maybe I'll make a Scott the Wild's playlist on my channel if you want to binge watch through all of them. But shout out to all the people that liked that comment and left comments on the previous video. I learned a lot about consoles. Like, I've never had a PlayStation before, so seeing some of those PlayStations, I didn't know there was a PS4 Pro. I literally never knew that console existed, and I'm gonna learn a lot about some limited edition consoles here. I think that gold DS is a Zelda. I've never played Zelda ever. I'm hopefully gonna stream that at some point. I'm actually gonna stream Helldivers 2 here in about 20 minutes for the very first time ever playing. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna learn a lot in this video. There's gonna be a lot of, I never heard of that, I never played that, never seen that, didn't know it existed, said in this video. Shout out to patrons because they get all the videos there early. A lot of time I have a Patreon channel, could not do this if it was not for them. $3 a month to get you all my reaction videos there early. And like I said, I do read all your comments, whether you're a patron or not, whether you're subscribed or not, but I hope you are subscribed to some of the future videos because these Scott the Wild's videos just come out whenever I have an open spot. I'm like, yes, I want to learn some more about gaming, even though I've been gaming for over 20 years at this point. But let's go ahead and jump into some limited edition consoles. All right, what in the world? Is that a humidifier?
Hey all, Scott here. You may be asking, whoa, are you sick or just sick? I went to the doctor and they said, wow, you look sick, you should go see a doctor.
A doctor?
I'm officially diagnosed with
mild congestion.
Well, what else is there to do other than consume more humidifier and talk about limited edition game consoles or whatever while everybody else is playing outside talking about whatever non-sick people talk about.
Well, when was the video uploaded? 5 years ago.
There's a certain beauty to, just bang some Zelda shit on and we gotta get rid of these things.
Never played Zelda.
To really spice up your relationship with a console.
I like that gray. Gray is my favorite color.
Variants on systems and a specific color with special art, sometimes in commemoration of an event produced in limited
I remember
quantities.
hearing Project
pick them up at the
Scorpio,
stores,
but I didn't know it was
maybe just win them in a giveaway. The whole concept of these things took a while to truly catch on. Most Atari 2600 owners back in the 70s didn't know what limited edition or console meant. These things truly
Game
caught
Boy
on
Color.
when the 90s swung around. It was obvious
I had a
then
Game Boy
that
Color.
video games were becoming a large fandom with people looking into collecting them. Limited editions either appealed to people who needed just one more Nintendo 64 and could
I
stop
had a
whenever they wanted
translucent
to, or people
N64.
who needed a reason to finally pick up a system for the first time. And then the 2000s happened, and they wouldn't
That
stop
gold
stopping. Well, one man
controller.
needs this many 3DS. I personally really only pick up limited edition systems when I already don't own said systems.
Exactly, that's why
When
I
Smash
wanted to
3DS
get the
came out, these
Series
slick 3DS
X
XL
Halo
systems
edition.
barged in. And while I really liked how these looked,
I didn't, but
I already had a 3DS XL. Now with console upgrades, that's a different story. I didn't have a new 3DS XL, so when I saw the SNES edition on Amazon, let's just
On
say
Amazon?
I stimulated the hell out of the economy that day. In general, I'd say I like things pretty vanilla with how I prefer my game consoles to look. I like them to look exactly how it was always
press
intended,
photos.
how all the promotional images are. I have a
Just
black
like Doug
PS4
DeMuro in
Pro and I'm
cars.
proud of it, damn it. However, I must admit, it's pretty fun to get wacky sometimes
That's
with
pretty
limited
cool.
variants. They're always fun to gawk at, even when the term limited edition is used all the time with systems that are anything but. Ah yeah, limited edition Platinum GameCube.
That's
Yeah, I
every
bathed in these
GameCube.
things. They really weren't limited.
Now, I got a lot of the initial info on these limited edition consoles from consolevariations.com, and I highly
course that
recommend giving them a
exists.
look-sees if you're into this sort of thing.
Now, back when limited editions started out in the
$100?
early 90s, they were definitely pretty different compared to how they are today. They weren't bombastic, well-designed variants featuring iconic characters or something. They just used to be Toyota. Looking back at the
What do
majority
you-
of the
what?
Game Boy Limited
Oh.
releases, many just had logos plastered on them. One of my favorites being the
Kinda
Cat
like a
edition.
Rolex
Now,
does
there
with
were
some
specific
watches.
game-themed editions.
Like the
This
Domino's
Mario
Rolex
version was
that
given
we
out
used
as a
to.
prize during some game show in the UK. Weirdly enough, all it says is limited edition on the box, but when you take it out, it's literally just a black Game Boy with Wario on it. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. A good chunk
It's
of
not
the
even the
limited
picture of
Game
it.
Boys were just that, prize giveaways, like the Ford one, V-Drink one, this Pink Heart one. There was the Play Loud
Pink Heart
series,
actually
but
goes
that
kinda
was
hard.
primarily just different colored Game Boys, with some being rarer than others. Manchester, Milka,
Manchester
Planet Hollywood,
United,
EV
okay.
Games, some silver one. The Game Boy had a ton of crazy limited models, but barely any are legitimately interesting. Most just have a logo of some company on them, and that's
That
it.
you could probably
see, that's one
reproduce
thing the
today.
Game Boy and the Atari Lynx have in common. The only limited edition of the Lynx was exactly this, but I prefer it to all the Game Boy editions because this one is the Marlboro edition. You ever ask
Oh.
anybody how they got hooked on cigarettes?
and it's not even
Yeah, the Lynx.
on their
The
straight.
Game Boy Pocket
It's
was an
crooked.
improvement compared to the original in the limited release department. We got some of the same simple logo on the front, but we also got this marble design only in Japan, a gold edition, this Japanese atomic purple one that
Ooh.
looks exactly like the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Light. Well, this is already more interesting than the original. A Pokemon Center store exclusive, which consistently happened with future Nintendo handhelds. Astro Boy, Jesus f***. The Nintendo 64 definitely took some cues from the handhelds and did a ton of limited editions. There was the Fantastic series that was more or less the 64's equivalent to the Play It Loud series on the Game Boy.
I had a green one.
Translucent plastic. Yeah, the N64 has no shame. It had nothing to hide, and while the Fantastic series wasn't necessarily always advertised as limited edition, some definitely became some of the rarest Nintendo 64
Mine's broken
by today. The gold version was a
my cousin tried to plug in his controller upside down.
A cool one. Most gold Nintendo systems feel the need to plaster the Zelda logo on them, and while that's fine, they're definitely some of my favorite limited variants. I think just pure gold can look awesome, and this N64 is no exception. Yeah, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer Limited Edition.
Gold.
It's just a regular N64, isn't it? At least just needs a picture or something on the console to make the customer feel better. God. The Pokemon craze was hitting the big time during the Nintendo 64 era, so Nintendo acted upon that not by making a full Pokemon game for the N64, but just by jamming some Pokemon stickers on the system and calling it a day.
I mean, the colors.
Let's be fair. The Pikachu editions of the N64 are crazy unique. They went above and beyond most other limited editions, which were simply just different colors with new designs on them. This one used a new funky looking mold that was
definitely
to compensate
different
for a giant Pikachu on the top. How
definitely different.
Cheeks light up when the system's
colors.
on. The power button's a Pokeball. The reset button's his foot. I wouldn't have it any other way. This blue one was for all the world to have, but the orange one was exclusive to Japan.
Of course, they got all the cool
stuff. If you're not into fun at all, you could have gotten the European Pokemon Stadium version instead. I can't even be bothered to yawn. Game Boy Color. Now, this was really where Nintendo realized, well, we like this. I can't tell you how many mornings I woke up thinking Delca Game Boy Color.
It was a shoe brand in Austria, and it was won in a contest. That's fun.
More Pokemon editions this time around, that's for sure.
But they're not worth that much, are they?
Mario on them.
People must collect
Lunchables
them.
edition is the last thing I think of when I hear Lunchables. Gardner, the GameCube. Did somebody order multiple MTV designs?
Why?
Prizes from Europe. Really the only way I can imagine playing Resident Evil 4. Yeah, these beat out the Resident Evil 4 edition. A few GameCubes went with just
recently played that game.
Replacement of the jewel in the middle here. Tales of Symphonia, Metroid Prime, Metal Gear Solid, Twin Snakes, Pokemon XD. However, I'd take the Pikmin 2 bundle any day. It comes with a free Pikmin. F any other object on store shelves. But come on, the full-blown custom variations of the GameCube are where it's at. This Hanshin Tigers edition, Gundam Char, this one for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which is different from other white GameCubes, but looks almost identical. That's pretty annoying. You save up to get a Crystal Chronicles GameCube only to have people assume it's a much more common white GameCube. But the one I think is the coolest to own would be the Thank You ATI edition, a version given to the people working at ATI for their help on developing the system. Game Boy Advance. Yeah,
I had the SP. I never had that one.
NES edition of the GBA SP. It was awesome because they put so much love and attention into this one. Even the texture of the design was similar to the original NES controller. That's great. The Game Boy Micro had a similar NES throwback, this time for its Japanese equivalent, the Famicom. Weirdly enough, they released this in North America in addition
so many consoles.
to Japan. It's meant to look like the
Taylor probably has a lot of these.
One controller, and
Taylor's one of my moderators on Twitch. He'll be in the comment section.
The only problem with it is that I'm worried I'm going to get it all scratched up if I'm not careful.
He posts
now,
on Twitter.
In Japan, there was a Famicom variant of the GBA SP as well, alongside a Mother 3 Game Boy Micro exclusive to the territory. Again, absolutely gorgeous.
Recently learned what Mother 3 is.
We got the Disney Channel edition over here, so it's okay.
Still never watched the Disney Channel
Onyx
ever.
edition of the GBA SP always weirded me out. Like, yeah, it looks cool, but it more so looks like a fan mod, something you get by unscrewing two differently colored GBAs and jamming them together.
It kinda
Nowadays,
does.
It's absolutely ridiculous to have a Nintendo handheld without a Zelda edition released at some point.
That thing does look cool. I like that.
This beaut. The Rockstar Games themed one was a European exclusive. I love it, but not as much as the Tribal Tattoo variant. This is the only way to tell people not to f with you. There was a real 24-karat gold version of the SP for a contest.
That'd be so heavy.
To my knowledge, is the only time it's ever been seen. Nobody's claimed to officially have this thing for realsies. The contest may have never ended up happening, or the people who won just never cared to show it off to the world. Who knows?
Maybe it's just plated
Golden Sun
gold.
edition from Korokoro magazine, even more Pokemon editions, and a bunch with retailer names plastered on the consoles themselves. The Game Boy Advance was a titan in the limited edition industry.
Yes.
Okay, I'll say this now. This is the beginning of a bit much.
Is he gonna?
It's fine. I'll always take time out of my day to talk about the 50-cent DS, not to be overshadowed by the Hot Summer Donkey release. So many systems released.
He's gonna more slander for the original DS.
Events, the Seattle Mariners, a baseball team Nintendo used to own. Even more.
Wait, Nintendo owned the Seattle Mariners?
What? Plus model and said, yeah, it looks like I'm finally gonna buy a DS. But things get even crazier with the 3DS. With Nintendo selling so many concurrent models,
I don't know what it would have to be for me to buy. Go out and buy a console.
Probably a nightmare for 3DS system collectors. The original release,
have to
no
be.
problem. Not much going on here. You got this slick Zelda one that came with Ocarina of Time 3D. These versions only released via Club Nintendo. A handful of others. Whatever.
What's Club Nintendo?
The 3DS XL gave light to an even slicker Zelda model. This thing was one of the limited edition consoles I always looked at with envy. It's so well themed around A Link Between Worlds. Hyrule is represented by the dark upside down Triforce on the bottom. I love
Oh,
this
that's
design.
so cool.
And like I said, the Smash Brothers one was cool too. In Japan, they actually got a new 3DS XL version of it, which I actually think looks a bit better. The Animal Crossing New Leaf model looked like a
Never played
Pop-Tart.
Animal Crossing.
Pikachu has
does look
nipples.
like a Pop-Tart.
Year of Luigi, Mario and Luigi Dream Team, Pokemon, Mario, Tomodachi, Pokemon,
Super
Mario,
Mario,
Pokemon.
Basically, they found a way to
Mario,
print money. Got it.
Pokemon, Castle, Mario. The NES edition is stupid. The GBA SP has the outside mimic the console and the inside mimic the controller, just how it should be. The 3DS XL version just spanked a picture of the NES controller on the outer shell, and the inside, oh, what do you know, it has
Just
red
colors.
buttons. Lame.
Yeah.
Now, the new 3DS featured interchangeable faceplates, meaning those were kind of the replacement for limited editions. Of course, the Game Boy Micro
Could you
also
just
had
sell
interchangeable
those
faceplates, but that didn't
limited
stop
edition?
them. There was the Ambassador Edition, sold to Club Nintendo members in Europe.
is Club
way
Nintendo?
before the official release date, and this thing looks so cool. But the new 3DS XL definitely had more limited versions. A few Zelda editions, one Majora's Mask and the other just with the Triforce. Not a big fan of either of these. When I think Majora, I think purple. What the hell is this? Metroid, Monster
Yeah,
Hunter.
why do they
Oh,
think
man,
gold?
What else? How about Pokemon? Not
Yeah,
as many
Pokemon's
editions
cool.
as the original 3DS XL, but some cool designs here, that's for sure. I do like the SNES edition mainly because it didn't have the glossy coating on the outside like most other new 3DS XLs have. How about the 2DS? There were these cool
That thing
Pokemon ones,
existed.
shocker. They were translucent and made to commemorate Pokemon's 20th anniversary, even coming in boxes reminiscent of the old school Pokemon Game Boy games.
That's
This
just-
Zelda
it's
one
kinda
looks
sick.
tart to me, and hey, what do you know? I have the Super Mario Maker edition. This is hideous. The new 2DS XL limited editions did a lot of extra stuff on the outer shell. Minecraft, a Hylian
Oh.
Shield, Dragon Quest, a Pokeball, Pikachu, all these had
Why does it remind me of
3D
lunchboxes?
designs that weren't just simple splashes of artwork, and that was really cool. Now with the Nintendo home consoles, there really aren't nearly as
Is
many
that thing
editions
solid
of their
gold?
handhelds. The Wii had a one-of-a-kind
Well, the shell.
gold-plated version given as a
Gold-plated,
gift to
okay.
Buckingham Palace. I've been scouring the Ohio Craigslist for this thing. I will find it one day.
Ohio
There was a red Wii released
Craigslist.
for Mario's 25th anniversary, and who could forget the Glee Wii? The Wii U
Glee?
didn't have much. Literally, the only Wii U released outside of the standard black and white consoles was the Wind Waker edition. It pairs nicely with the original Zelda 3DS, but the gamepad was the only special part about this package. The Wii U console itself wasn't any different.
It was- okay,
One
it
cool
was-
thing
okay,
about the various
wow.
Wii U bundles,
Splatoon?
though, is that they all have unique
No.
artwork on the boxes, giving a cool spin on the U logo. They're all super neat. I'd love to see a full collection of these boxes someday. Since the Nintendo Switch is a handheld and a console, you can bet Nintendo has been more willing to spit out new limited editions. Diablo,
It's
Monster Hunter
both.
Double Cross, Pokemon Smash Brothers, but easily the coolest one
The
is
gold-
the Nintendo
is it
Labo
gold?
edition.
Oh, it's-
all the other
it's
ones kinda
cardboard.
generally follow the same idea, just a white tracing of an image on the back of the Switch or the dock. The Labo release gives everything the essence of cardboard. It's great.
Yeah.
Sadly, it is pretty limited though. These
How
were
limited?
for winners of a Labo-themed contest. Well, those are all the
Oh.
limited edition consoles, damn it. Sega had a few, primarily with the Game Gear and Dreamcast. The Game Gear's limited editions weren't crazy. A few different colors, Coca-Cola, you know, typical stuff.
Yeah.
But the Dreamcast had the Sega Sports Black version. How did this thing fail? Look at this Hello Kitty one. We have X-ray vision. This Platinum
You see
model
through
is
it.
sleek. There was this Bang & Sonic Anniversary one. The Maziora edition. I like
What?
just for the box alone. Look at this guy.
Why is it just
You
a picture
couldn't
of a
have
man?
Special edition Dreamcast without a Seaman release. Even a special Christmas variant came out too. If only it had a Coca-Cola version. Oh,
It does.
PlayStation time. We got a console in commemoration of 10 million PS1s sold, consoles in commemoration of 20 million PS2s, consoles
Oh.
in commemoration of Monsters Inc. Scare Island. Sony really liked to do the whole commemoration of a certain number of units sold.
But did they
thing.
stop with the
They did this
PS3?
a lot more, even recently with the PS4. But man, this gold edition is great. There's a few
That does
standouts,
look
but
cool.
overall the PlayStation brand didn't get super wild with limited editions. Most were just different colors or simply released alongside.
Yeah,
the game.
like,
The
how is that
PS4 has
supposed
been
to be
having
God
a
of
lot,
War?
though. Who else better to give away a gold PS4 than Taco Bell? Batman, Dragon Quest, Call of Duty, Spider-Man, Kingdom Hearts, God of War. This amazing throwback to the PS1. So many editions.
I
But just
like that
Nintendo,
color.
Sony went berserk with their handhelds, especially the PSP.
Some of these are
Tons
probably
coincided
crazy
with games,
expensive.
but only one was a Hannah Montana edition. I love the God of War Ghost of Sparta one. Black and red is one of my
still
favorite
need
color
to play God of War.
combinations. There was another God of War release, but I like the other one a bit more. This one's great too, though. The PS Vita honestly couldn't compete. Most designs are kind of boring here. It's all about the color with this handheld and not much else. I kind of like the Persona 4 Dancing All Night edition, but other
I
than
have
that,
not heard of
nothing
that
really
game.
sticks out.
I know
Xbox,
Persona 4.
You ever considered just taking it easy?
No.
The original Xbox has some of the most
Mountain
iconic
Dew?
limited releases. The Mountain Dew version is one I always think of. Getting it seemed like a bit of a hassle, though. You had to drink a lot of Mountain
How
Dew
much
just
Mountain
to have
Dew?
a shot shot at winning it. It wasn't guaranteed. And hey, if you don't like Mountain Dew, there's always the Hulk. An Xbox for the launch team at Microsoft, the Panzer Dragoon Orta 1, my god. Halo Special Edition is a super well-known one.
I want to
the
get the
Atari
Series
Xbox
X
makes me
so
wanna crack out
bad.
a thesaurus to see all
They
the
dropped it
cinnamon
one time and
that
never
went
again.
wrong. The Xbox 360 had the Simpsons Movie Edition that was crazy limited. Taco Bell back again with another release. The Star Wars Edition looked fantastic.
Never seen Star Wars.
And I'm not even a big Star Wars guy. There were so many 360s released. Many came out alongside big games.
Halo.
The Xbox One kind of continued the trend, but not nearly as much. Well, there are a ton of pretty good looking ones. Microsoft has
there's a
mainly been focusing
Titanfall
on
one?
controller variants
I
this
need
generation.
I need
I'm not
that.
complaining too much. Microsoft can make a mean-looking controller.
Great talk, guys. Limited edition systems are fun to gawk at, but you know what else is
Give me a
fun to gawk
Titanfall
at? This
3
official
Series
statement
X.
from my doctor. Let's see
Actually,
what this
just get me
illness is officially
Titanfall 3.
doing to me. Oh no.
What?
If I don't do anything about this mild congestion, I'm gonna die in 60 to 70 years.
60 or 70 years? Oh no. That's pretty rough. Do you have any of these? Let me know if there's any that Scott left off. Please let me know. I'm sure he probably didn't talk about every single one of them. He just gave some examples because, like, who wants to know about some random company that had their logo put on a Game Boy or something like that? But I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of interesting comments on this video, so definitely leave some down below. I'll be reading all of them, and no, they'd be actually really cool if you have any of these. I'd love to hear about it and how you got it, and if some of these are like worth crazy amounts of money, because I bet they are, especially if they're like super limited. And also, is there any theories about the gold Game Boy? That, like, what was it a thing? Did it actually exist? How do you win it and tell nobody? I don't know how that would necessarily work, but I look forward to the next Scott the Woz video. Please let me know what that should be down below in the comment section. You see one that you agree with, definitely like it, and that'll definitely probably help me decide what the next Scott the Woz video should be. Whatever it is, I really enjoyed this one. One of my favorite Scott the Woz videos I've ever watched. I look forward to the next one. I need to go get ready to fight for democracy for the very first time ever here in about 7 minutes. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. But until the next video, take care and cue the music.